Wow, I'm so far behind you. Like, in terms of, like, your clap came so much later than I thought it was going to. But you know what? It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. I'm sure that this episode will not be really weird to edit.
Okay, but if everyone could just see what I see, at the angle
I'm
I
sorry.
sit at,
I'm sorry.
Callum over FaceTime is framed in such a manner. First of all, he's wearing these big, clunky headphones, like, that go over your head, and it's just so funny because the angle he's, chosen to put the phone at, it's just, like, popping up, like, shoulders above, and I just think it's so funny.
I didn't choose to put the phone at this angle. It's because of the setup that I have currently where I'm charging my phone from, like, from a plug that's down here, and the phone is up here, and you want to see me, so you're just gonna have to deal with it. This is it. This is
I
what
think
we're
you
doing.
misunderstood. I think you misunderstood. I really don't want to see you. I kept texting you, like, I'd rather not have to look at your face the entire podcast.
I don't need this. I don't come to this podcast to be abused. That's literally why I come to this podcast. That's my only reason for being on this podcast is just to be cannon fodder for you.
Well, you know, it's nothing personal. I just like to look at visually pleasing things, and it's hard when I have to, you know, talk to you over FaceTime when like, calling someone is just such a great option.
Well, at least it's FaceTime and not in person. It could be, imagine how much worse it could be if you could actually see me. I wanna say something actually about last episode. Last episode I said that Africa was a country.
Yeah, that was so funny.
And I didn't mean that. So
it was so funny because I honestly didn't even notice it when you said it. But when we were, it was because we were doing a bit. I don't even remember what the bit was about, but you were just like, yeah, like, country, like Africa. And I was like, editing it, and I just took a moment and paused.
Did I say Asia was a country? Anyway, I said a continent was a country, and I just want everyone to know.
Yeah, it was Asia or Africa or something, and you said it was a country, and I just thought that was so funny. And I chose to not edit it out, because I only edit out the things that make me look bad.
There you have it. Yeah, when I listen back to these episodes, and it's missing like half an hour of footage of just you being a terrible person, that's my favourite thing to do. I'm like, oh, so now I look like the idiot. Katia will cut it so that I sound like I'm really stupid, but actually I'm not. She's just cutting out the bits that would make...
I just, you just go on a really intelligent, rant where you put a lot of facts in about, a political issue, and it's really well informed, and I just, skip to the end where you're like, yeah, I mean, I don't really know about politics anyway, so that's just my argument.
Yes.
And I'm like, alright, well,
and I look like a dum-dum.
First...
You make me look like a dum-dum all the time. It's not fun.
It's not all editing, Callum. It's not all editing.
I blame the editing. I blame the editing all the way.
Oh my god. But yeah, speaking of having to see your face, guess what I have to do in 2 weeks?
See my face in person. The debrief on tour, baby. We're going on tour.
We're not going on tour, but I am, my spring break is in 2 weeks. But, I should clarify, today is Valentine's Day, so for all you lovebirds out there, it's a day of the year. Anyway.
Have Valentine's. Have a Valentine's, baby.
Have yourself a Valentine. But in 2 weeks, actually the day before my birthday, I will be flying, across the pond, as they say, back to Scotland to see all my friends in St. Andrews for my week off for spring break. And
back to Bonnie Scotland.
Guess where I'm staying? Whose house, Callum?
My house, Callum.
Yes, in your house.
My house. The house that I rent from someone who owns it. This house, the one I'm in right now. You'll see it. Mm-hmm. I got my desk. Mm-hmm. I got all my stuff everywhere. It's great. My house, the place to be.
Yeah, I've actually never been to your house before because you guys got the house what was it, like April? No, earlier than that. It was like February of last year.
It was so early.
But people were still people were still in the house, so, like, you guys were the only ones who visited because, you know, you were gonna be tenants and you needed to see what you were, like, what you were gonna
I'm really glad that you're
rent.
explaining how, the viewing process and renting process for a house works. I'm enjoying this new place that the debrief has gone to.
I've been told by some of my friends here that I'm a mansplainer. You
are a mansplainer.
Like, I know, but also, like, it's just really funny that, like, just got reaffirmed in a
You're literally
in a different
explaining.
area.
I understand that conceptually there are other people listening to this, and it's like we have an audience, even though we don't.
Yeah.
And also, like, actually don't, because no one listens to this, I assume.
But you never, I will say, I do over-explain, but you under-explain. Like, I sometimes listen back to the podcast, and something that I missed, that you just said, like, I remember you brought up, like, the whole chartreuse meme, and didn't, like, you just said it a couple times, and then didn't reference it.
I was gonna explain that, actually, then. My problem is that, I talk so tangentially that, from moment to moment, I don't really know where a conversation's going, so I don't finish bits of my conversation, because I'll be midway through a thing, and then I'll just move it on to something else. And then half an hour will pass, and I'll be like, I don't remember what this was about to start with. So that's my issue. Look, we all have our problems.
Do you want to explain the chartreuse meme, now that we've brought it up?
Well,
it's not that funny, but we do say it a lot.
It's not. That's the thing. So many of our, like, personal jokes are things that we say, they aren't actually funny. And it's not even like they're not funny to other people. It's not like this story isn't funny. It's just a thing.
Well, yeah, so basically, backstory is Callum doesn't know colors.
Callum doesn't know colors. I don't know.
So Callum...
Okay. I never thought that colors would come in handy. Colors and types of flowers as well, that's another thing. A lot of animal names, apart from the main ones, a lot of animal. There's just a lot of things that I remember making a conscious decision. I was like, I don't need to
not learn.
I'm not going to need to. People were talking about amethyst and chartreuse, for instance, and all these shades of colors. And I'm like, I'm never going to need to know this, so I never learned it.
Yeah.
And then I don't know why, but for some reason last year it came up that someone said something. Someone said a color or a shade. And I didn't know what it was, and then it was revealed I didn't know colors.
I think we were talking about my room color, which you hate. It's teal and chartreuse. For those who are colorblind, like Callum.
Wait.
Color illiterate.
So teal is the green one, right?
Greenish blue, yes.
Nice. And chartreuse is blue.
No, chartreuse is like lime green, like yellowish green. Like, you know how my room looks?
Yeah, it's blue and green.
Yeah, it's teal and chartreuse.
No, yeah, so this is exactly what I'm talking about. You can easily describe Katya's room as just blue and green, because it is. It's just blue and green. The green is kind of like blah, 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 like that kind of green. And the
it's chartreuse.
It's
teal.
It's blue and green. So there you go. So
but yeah, anyway, I think we were talking about my room, and I was like, oh yeah, like, I think I showed you a picture of me in my room, and you were like, what are those colors? And I was like, oh, they're chartreuse and teal, like, those are, like, my two favorite colors, so that's what I paint in my room. And you were like, what? And then, we just, like, had a long conversation about colors, like we are now, and then later on in the day, someone said so true. Like, to someone else.
Yeah.
I think Linda was talking.
Linda said so true, and you thought she said chartreuse. So you were eating something at the time as well. So you look up and you're like, chartreuse? Me too. And,
yeah.
We got it on film, baby. We got it on camera. It's preserved forever on the internet.
She was just like chatting with you, and then she was like, yeah, so true. And I wasn't paying attention because I was simultaneously eating and on my phone, I think. Like, I think it was like a twofold, like, not actually paying attention to what's going on.
Multitasking, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so like that's the whole meme. It's literally just like instead of saying so true now, we just say chartreuse.
It's sort of it means amen or whatever. You just go chartreuse.
Just like
chartreuse.
Yeah.
Anyway,
what's the Scottish slang?
Now, if you what
remember the Scottish slang? You were like, oh, it could be used as a amen.
I've had a lot of backlash.
Get loudy.
I've had a lot of backlash from the Scottish slang episode.
Wait, really?
I've been told that I didn't explain things very well, and having listened back, I agree. Probably most of the things that I told you, this is because you would always I would say a word and you would say kinda like vaguely what it meant, but also not really. But it was close enough that I couldn't be bothered explaining what it meant. So I'd just be like, yeah, it means this. And I'd move on. And obviously you couldn't correct me because you didn't know. But then people who've listened back to it have been like, you don't know what any of those words mean. And I'm like, no, I'm just a very lazy person. So I was aware that what I was saying wasn't completely true, but also I wasn't aware that I was going to be blasted for it. You know, in this podcast that we share with each other. I was like, you know what? If we were on live television or something, if this was going places, then maybe I would have put more effort into my explanation of what these words meant. I would have explained the nuance and all that stuff. But at the time, I'll be entirely honest with you and viewers, our boys in Thailand, I'm sorry I didn't put the effort in on that episode, but a lot of the time... most of the time, you're like close to what it means, so it doesn't really matter. It's just like, you haven't quite got it, but there are a couple that I just completely lied about.
I even noticed when I was editing. I would, because a lot of times when people are trying to explain stuff to me, I just like don't quite hear what they're saying because I don't want to listen. Especially when it's you. So I'll just like guess what it is, and then you'll be like kind of, and then you'll like try to steer me in the right direction, and then I'll be like, wait, but I was right the first time, and then you were just like, yeah, I guess you are.
You'll say A, and I'll say, no, it's more sort of like B, and then you'll be like, wait, that's what I said. And I'll be like, yeah, sure.
That's exactly what you said.
Because I've spent so much time with you, where I'll actually say, no, you said A, and it means B, and you'll go, no, I said A, and I'm like, well, no, but it means, like, B, and you're like, yeah, that's what I said, A. I'm like, well, but... And I've wasted so much of my time just doing that. Now I'm at the point where I'll just go, yeah, sure. Also, it's not like you're gonna... None of the words that I was using, if you use them in the wrong context, would you be in any particular trouble, so... I haven't endangered your life.
So wait, what does Giet Laldi mean? What is the true meaning? Because the reason I brought it up was the whole, like, amen thing. Because that's how you described it. I remember specifically in the podcast, you were like, yeah, it's like amen.
Yeah, that was the one. That was like, one of the ones that I just lied about. This is the episode where people suddenly, they think back to past episodes that they listened to and they just start questioning everything. They're like, wait, what if nothing that they say is true? Callum just admitted to blatantly lying on the podcast. And he didn't even blink. He didn't even stutter. He just happily was like, yeah, it means sort of like amen, you know? It just means kind of like, you'll be like, whoa, Giet Laldi, yeah, you're right, Giet Laldi.
So what does Giet Laldi mean?
What does it mean? It means...
Yeah, you're the Scot.
I'll put it into context, because it's easier to describe if I put it into context. So, if someone's singing a song, you might be like, oh, yeah, Giet Laldi. Or if someone's doing karaoke, they're doing, sweet dreams are made of these, who am I to disagree? And then you're like, Giet Laldi! And like, yeah. Or, I don't know, you're at a stadium and everyone's chanting sectarian songs because you're in Scotland. Everyone's chanting incredibly racist sectarian songs because that's what we do. And people are like, oh yeah, get louder, get louder. That's what it means. It just kind of means be louder. But like there's also like there's context and stuff to it. Speaking of sectarianism, and like this is slightly linked, but
let's just go off on this for a bit.
So we were at this place today. You know this. We had an interview we're applying for accommodation right now. We're trying to find houses.
Yeah.
And we had an interview because that's the thing. One of the letting agencies wanted us to have an interview with them. So we were at that and we walked in.
Yeah, you didn't really tell me what happened.
Well, nothing. It's because nothing in particular happened. We thought there was going to be some sort of character interview, or I don't know. They were going to say, "Oh, so you a good person morally?
Yeah.
Does justice exist in the 21st century?"
You should have walked in your Sunday best with like a little cross necklace,
a dog collar.
Dog collar. Well, didn't Jamie was joking that he was gonna wear like earrings and a nose ring, like fake ones.
Yeah.
Just to make a really good first impression.
We go in and it's this like wee old lady who takes us. She like, meets us and she's like, "Oh, come to my office." We go into her office and just everything about it to me felt like being in primary school and being in the headmistress's office, because she was exactly that type of person. There was one point because we had written our home addresses on the application. So she saw where I was from, which is one of the suburbs just outside of Glasgow in East Dunbartonshire, and then she said, "Oh, you're from blank." "Oh, I'm from this place," which is this little town that's like near there. So and she was like, "Oh, okay," and I was like, "Oh yeah, I have a friend who lives there. I'm actually from, like, it says on my address that I'm from this place, but I'm actually from like just this little bit." But yeah. So anyway, we realized that she was from just outside of Glasgow as well. Maybe a little bit. She's from one of the sort of small towns that are further out into the countryside, but still like pretty close. Anyway, so we were talking about that, and then later on, there's this bit where she looks at me. She's talking about like just the process that you go through and what it's like to be a tenant under them and blah blah blah. And she was talking about something to do with, I don't know, if things are broken or if you need to sort things out. And she was talking about how she'll just straight up tell you when there's a problem, or they're very upfront or whatever. And she turns to me and she's like, I call a spade a spade. I'm from the West. I say how it is. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. But she also, there's this weird sort of, she just also.
Is it one of those things? Is it one of those things where you like don't know when to laugh? Like when a professor's really strict and then like they'll make a joke, but you're not sure if it's a joke, and then you're like,
yeah, but also the entire time I wasn't in the room, I was back like 15 years in primary school with this. They have this weird sort of like painted face where it doesn't look like normal makeup. It looks like it looks like stage makeup foundation, just like paint. Like when you get close to them, you can see the cracks in it, and very kind of well spoken. Like it's because people from the West Coast have a particular accent, and people from the East Coast have a particular accent, surprisingly. But posh people, or no, it's not posh people from the West Coast. People from the West Coast who try and speak fancy have a very particular way of doing it. And I don't mean like a Glasgow uni accent or whatever. That's a specific type of thing. But people who actually like have it, especially the women do one and men do one, but they're a wee bit different. And she had the female West Coast trying to sound posh type, or trying to find sound like fancy accent. I don't know, which is exactly what my primary school headmistress had. And she had the same hair, and she had the whole makeup thing going on, and the whole process. I was just, yeah. So
you felt like a 13-year-old.
And then she's like, she's calling out like, "Oh, because I'm from the West. I don't muck about. I call a spade a spade. And I've just gone fully Pfeiffer there. But yeah, so she, which is the exact opposite of what the accent was. But yeah, so I don't know. It was. I wouldn't say traumatic. I think that would be over exaggerating. But it was an experience.
I can definitely imagine you in that situation, because, like, you're a very social person, but, like, with new people, especially adults, and especially if you were going through those kinds of things in your head, you're kind of, like, way more reserved. Like, when you met my parents, like, you were pretty reserved. They were like, he doesn't talk much, and I was like, yeah, you don't know him well enough.
Does he ever?
But, like, I can just imagine if I was also in the room with you, if I just, like, looked over to you and just, like, saw your eyes bugging a little bit.
I'm just in the corner bugging out, just like, oh my god. Mrs. Walk, is that you? Is that you, Mrs. Walk?
I can just imagine. I just, like, and you were sober, too. Just imagine if you were, like, not sober at all, and you, like, walked into that situation. I feel like you'd be, like,
I was just
freaking
off my
out.
tits, just like, oh my god, what is happening? What is happening? I'm just on a tab of acid. I'm properly, like, I just smoked some DMT before I went in. I'm properly, like, fully, physically think that I'm back. I've, like, gone back in time. Just sitting there freaking out, like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Why is Mrs. Walk trying to sell me why is she trying to interview me for a property? I'm 5. I live with my mum and dad. What's going on? Where am I?
You just, like, drop a tab right before you walk in, and then when she makes that joke, it all hits you at once, and you're like, fuck! She's from the West!
Vroom, oh my god. You know, I'm from the West. I call a spade a spade. Oh my god. She calls a spade a spade. She calls a spade a spade. Oh my god.
Linda's like, Callum, are you okay? What's going on? You're like, it's fine. You're just profusely
in real life,
sweating.
nothing is happening. They're sitting having this nice conversation, and then they look over, and I just have, it's like that Key and Peele sketch. I just have, like, drops of water, just like, it's like Niagara Falls on my face, just like running down my face, just sweating so much, eyes just like darting across the room, just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, spade a spade, spade a spade, spade a spade. That would have been an excellent impression to leave.
Yeah.
What could it be?
We just gotta hope they don't, like, look us up on Facebook and find the podcast.
I think that's a worry that we're gonna have for the rest of our lives. Anything that we do for the rest of our lives, we're always gonna be, well, I hope they don't. I hope they don't find my Ted Bundy tapes. We're about to Watergate ourselves. We should learn from the past. don't take.
No, I literally just made a LinkedIn account, and what if I just connected this as my main website? You know what a LinkedIn is?
Yeah, I know what LinkedIn is.
Okay. Well, I made a LinkedIn, and because I'm, like, applying to some internships and stuff, and, like, they said you should make one. Because I'm trying to be a professional. But wouldn't it be funny if they were like, because they when you fill out your profile, it's like, oh, do you have any websites or like this? If I just put on, like, the link to the podcast,
yeah,
just for my future employers, just so they know I know how to have a good time. They're like, wow, she's got great grades. She has a wonderful resume. She has a plethora of experience in the government field, and it really impresses me. I think she could be our candidate. Let's check out her website.
But what's this? What's this? The debrief. Oh, okay. What's going on here? Oh. What's this? She's making jokes about being drunk. She's talking about dropping a tab of acid before a housing interview. What? She's doing what?
Yeah, so, and that's why I will never get a job.
The great thing about this, though, is that I feel like because we're aware, this is the problem, is for people nowadays, 10 years ago, they weren't aware that things were going to be looked on with posterity. Whereas we're aware of it, which means, and for us it's great because no one really, I mean, I've not checked the numbers, but no one really listens to this podcast. But if it does get big, then it'll be because one of us is going to get famous, or like be in a position where it gets brought up, which means that I can 100% with certainty, without feeling embarrassed about kind of like, if we had like 100, 200 listeners, then it'd be awkward. But because I know that we probably have like 5 solid listeners, it's either that or thousands of people listening to it in like 2035. So I can confidently say What's up, guys? It's me, Callum Essler. You may have heard of me, probably not. I'm probably implicated in some way, but here I am, just having fun. Also, I feel like it's important for us to say that, like, the things that I believed when I was 9 do not reflect the things that I believe now, and so I can with 100% certainty say that any views that I express on this podcast will most likely not be the views that I hold. Well, I mean, some of them might be. Probably my core views.
Well, yeah, the core views, but like
my core views that that the whites are the master race, and
my god, please,
and
Callum, don't die.
Euthanasia. All I'm saying is we need a eugenics war. Those core views. Obviously, I will still have when I'm 30. There's no way you can't.
I'm sure.
You can't. Those are so instilled in me that you can't get
those
those out
bits.
of me. But the other
Those,
stuff, the stuff about the silly
those...
things, they're the silly jokes about representation and my beliefs on mental health and diversity in the workplace and all those. they come and they go. The eugenics, the white master race, that stuff's always going to stay there. That's part of who I am. And that is that's a soundbite for you.
Those sound bites are going to be taken so out of context if you ever try to like
if
do
I ever
something
tried
with
to
your
do
life.
Anything. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they'll be like, he believes in euthanasia. Because also like,
just a soundbite of me. I'm trying to like run for office or something, and there's just a soundbite on the internet of me being like, I hate gay people or something like that. Just that. I just like incriminating myself.
You're really incriminating yourself.
But here's the thing: there's at this point there's about, with including this and also the pre-brief, there's probably about almost 10 hours now, almost 10 hours worth of us just talking. That is available
I actually
online.
think it's like closer to like 12 or 13.
So all I'm saying is that at this point, I feel like people who would want to incriminate me have enough that they can cut my voice together. If they're good enough, they can, which I assume they will be, because I respect. I hope that I'm in a position where my enemies, my future political enemies, are of a certain caliber that reflects my own caliber. So all I'm saying is that at this point, they probably have enough that they could cut together me saying literally any sentence in the English language and possibly some other languages, and it would probably sound pretty real. So at this point, why should I not just incriminate myself? You know?
Yep, fair enough.
Because there's
honestly,
definitely I've definitely
bringing up
said
some
the
good
words.
points.
I've definitely said the words "I hate" and "gays" on this podcast probably several times. So
just not in the same order.
So it'd be so easy, and also in different tones, in different ways. So it would be so easy for them to crop together a soundbite of me saying "I hate gay people." But so it really makes no difference whether I say it. All I can do now is say I don't actually believe that. If you want my honest opinion, I think gay people are wonderful. I don't actually. I actually feel.
You sound wait, time out. You sound like a politician. No. You sound like a politician who just got like caught with some shit, like in his yearbook, like you like dressed up as like your impression of a gay person, and then you're like doing a press conference now, and you're like, guys, listen, it was a different time. I love gay people. I have gay friends.
It's because I felt
people think I'm gay.
The reason I got weird there was because I was about to say, if you want my honest opinion, I really like gay people. But then I was like, that feels weird to say because I don't actually have an opinion on gay people. I don't have an opinion on gay people in the same way I don't have an opinion on like people from Vietnam.
Straight people.
I don't have an opinion on black people because that's such a, like, how can you have an opinion on, like, I cannot have an opinion on all gay people. I've met some gay people who are lovely and some gay people, but it's because gay is not a personality trait, you know?
Yeah.
If I could say,
you're speaking fire truths here.
I could say I hate, I hate people who refuse to see other people's opinions, and they refuse to acknowledge other people's opinions. I could say I dislike those people because that's a personality trait. But you can't for white, straight, black, gay, and you can't You can't say that because it's not a personality trait. It's like saying, "Oh, I don't like people with blue eyes." Like how that's not.
Well, yeah, exactly. Because you're a reasonable person, but not everyone thinks like you do.
Wait, like, what? Not everyone thinks like I do? I take it back!
Who would have thought? Straight white male grows up in a liberal neighborhood and thinks relatively okay about minorities. Look at him. What a hero.
What do you mean thinks relatively okay about minorities? That's so different.
Because you're like, I don't have an opinion on them. If you really cared, Callum, you'd love every single black person.
Callum Esther, breaking news, Callum Esther thinks minorities are okay. That's the headline. 2028. I'm gonna host the Oscars. It's 2032. Mm-hmm. I'm about to host the Oscars. Headline comes out the next day. Callum Esther thinks minorities are okay.
Everyone's just in a rage.
Like, I mean, like, that's not a bad thing. It's just sort of weird. It's kind of weird that you would, like, if you're gonna say it, you probably should go further. It's such a strange, like, on the fence position to like lay a statement. Yeah. I feel like if you're gonna make a comment on something as potentially explosive as like a minority group or something like that, then you really have to go one way or the other. But no one just completely unasked for, like, people can unasked for be like, I love gay people or I hate gay people or whatever. But no one has ever just, when no one has asked their opinion, been like, you know what? I could go either way. To be honest with you, the gays, it's not a big issue to me. Fence. They're okay. The minorities, honestly, they're okay. Come see Kumsa, you know? They're okay.
You're doing like you sound like you're doing like a semi-Trump impression. Listen, I don't have an opinion on the gays. They could go either way.
The Mexicans.
And like he says that, and everyone's like, "Wow, look at him being so progressive." Do a Trump impression,
so I guess I just go subconsciously. That's what I'm channeling. But yeah. So and everyone's like, I mean, fine, but it's kind of weird of you to express this on the fence. People are like, oh, so what's your... So everyone's like, oh, Trump this, Trump that, Trump this, that. And then someone who's got the wee tick, they're verified on Twitter, some political commentator is just like, well, you know, Trump's okay. He's okay. And I was like,
yeah.
Okay? I mean... That's nice of you to let us know, but...
So, well, actually, now that we're on the topic of, like, the reason I brought up the whole, like, yearbook thing is that's literally happening in Virginia right now. Like, the governor of Virginia, so the governor of Virginia, in his old yearbook, there's a photo of him, and there's two guys, and no one knows, like, when it first surfaced, no one knew which one he was, but in one photo, it's a guy in blackface, and in another photo, it's a guy in Klan's gear.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
This is the Democrat guy, right?
Yeah. So it was like a big deal, because, you know, you would hope that your party would do better than that. But he's also said, like, mixed things on it. Like, first he said that, first he was like, it's not me in the photo, and then later on he admitted he was... and then later on he was, like, admitted that he was one of them. And it was like a whole thing.
Would you do
and like
that? Just say it's you.
They did like a poll. I don't remember the exact numbers, but it wasn't that many people who called for his resignation. Like, it wasn't a it was something like pretty 50-50. Like, half of the people in Virginia were like, yeah, he can stay in office, he apologized. And then the other half was like, no, he should resign. But the bigger issue is if he does resign, the two people that could follow him are also both involved in scandals. So one is involved in, like, a sexual assault scandal, and I forget what the other one is involved in. But basically, literally anyone who could possibly either stay in office or take office for governor is just, like, kind of fucked right now.
Well, exactly. I think it's so true that, like, no one... I quite like that this is a thing now, that you do get things like Kevin Hart, who... the whole Oscar thing, it's just... No one is perfect. There's no... This whole idea that all the people... That every single person... in Parliament, in the Senate, in Congress, they all have, like, we all do dumb stuff, or stuff that, when you take it out of context, or when you see it in another time, is seen as bad. So I think it's really that you're like, oh wait, every single possible person who could be standing for this position is currently caught up in a scandal. Some of them are worse than others, but because
for sure.
I mean, I don't want to. I'm not going to say anything because I'll just screw myself over. With the Kevin Hart thing, though, that was the worst part about that for me though is that no one. So what he said that meant that he wasn't able to get the Oscars gig was he made a joke about if his son turned out to be gay, then he wouldn't be happy about it. Hold on. Kevin Hart.
Yeah, wasn't it like a stand-up bit where he was like, listen, I have nothing against gay people, but I would hate if my son was gay or something like that?
Yeah, that was it, and it was like a joke, but the thing is, I don't think that there was enough, but obviously there was a lot of backlash over it. That's really homophobic. But there was no backlash over the fact that that's just such a bad joke. It goes back to what I feel like we keep on going on about it, but if you're gonna say something like that, at least make it funny. Like, if my son comes home and tries to play with my daughter's dollhouse, I'm gonna break it over his head and say in my voice, "Stop, that's gay." Okay, I'm just now waking up and I'm in a good mood, so I think I'm gonna go to the gym and get big. No homo lol. LMAO at all the women asking me where the pic is. This is a tweet. LMAO at all the women asking me where the pic is. I'm not passing along a pic of a naked man. That would make me gay by association. So it's just all, but they're just like not. I mean, obviously they're like homophobic. But it's 2011, so it's like so you can see why he wouldn't have. Obviously, he would never post something like that now, but you can see why potentially. But just completely forgetting all of that, and I don't defend him at all. But it's just not funny. Like, even in 2011, that's not... It comes down to the fact that Kevin Hart isn't a good comedian. Like, as a baseline, Kevin Hart isn't a funny person. So, I think that should have been the Oscars first... The first thing that the Oscars committee should have, or the Academy should have taken into account was not the fact that he was homophobic, but the fact that he would have been a terrible host because he's not funny. There you go.
Well, yeah, also the whole thing with, like, him and then also the governor and, like, all that kind of stuff is I was talking in my Race in the City class, which is, like, it's taught by this old black guy who just, like, is
Whoa!
Whoa!
Why
he's, like, so... because it's a race relation. It's like a race class.
Why is it important to the story? Why is it important to the story?
It's important to the story. Callum,
guys,
it's important to the story. Can you just let me get to why it's important to the story?
Associated Press of 2039. You heard it here first.
Katya calls a man black because he is. Like, what?
Wait, what? Black people are okay, says Katya Olcott. Black people are okay. What? What? Why? Why would you express that? What? Why? What does that mean?
No, so basically in class, Callum, let me tell my story. So in class, when the whole, like, governor thing came out, and it still wasn't, like, clear what was gonna happen. So, like, I think right now he's not gonna resign. That's, like, kind of the official, like, his stance on it is, like, fuck it, I'm not gonna resign because I apologized. Kind of poorly, but whatever. And, like, my prof was like, one of the kids asked him, like, oh, how do you feel about this? Because, like, he has been around for ages. He's, I think he's in his 70s. So,
and he's like, why are you asking me? Why are you asking me what my opinion is?
No, he was very open about it. He's like, I think a lot of times when these, like, scandals come out, the best thing you can do is say, how can I be a part of the, like, solution? And that's, like, just not what Northam was doing. He was denying it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, just own up. That's the other thing. He was like, I just think, like, the whole Liam Neeson thing.
I was about to bring that up.
Him owning up to it is, like, a good start, Like, he's being honest about something in his past and, like, before it comes out, before it's, like, a thing. And he's saying, listen, this is something...
he wasn't even preempting it. It wasn't like he was like, oh, I better say this in case it ever comes up. It was just, like, in the context of, because he's in this new movie that's about someone who is, like, seeking revenge. And so he was asked, and so he was saying, oh, so I know how that feels. But it was interesting. I saw Trevor Noah bit from his show, who is a South African comedian who his dad is German, I believe, German or Swedish or something, and his mum is
and
she's African. So he
grew up during apartheid.
He grew up during apartheid in South Africa. But so someone in his audience asked him, what do you think about the whole Liam Neeson thing? And I guess for context for anyone, Liam Neeson revealed a story. So he's in this movie about revenge, and he was saying, I know how it feels to be that angry that you want to seek out revenge, and you're kind of blinded by this rage, because when I was younger, living in Ireland, and like Liam Neeson comes from, I think, quite a like tough background in Ireland, and also Liam Neeson grew up during a civil war in Ireland as well, so there's a lot of things going on. And so one of his good friends said that she'd been raped, and he was so angry about this, and he was like, who was it? And she said, I don't know, it was a guy, he was black, I don't know who he is, but he raped me. And then Liam Neeson said on this radio show, and I went out just into the streets, and I was just looking for, and he put this in quotations, some black bastard to kill, because I was just like, I need to. And he said, you know, it wasn't. If she'd said it was a white guy, I would have just looked for a white guy. It was just because she'd said that whoever the guy that raped her, and he said, and I can see, like, that was a prejudice that I had. And so someone asked Trevor Noah about this, and he was saying, like what you're saying, like he thought it was good that that he'd said this, and that it's good to admit that these things happen. But what he said that was interesting was, well, first of all, he said he felt, again with this whole, like, the initial thing is fine, but the way it's handled is kind of awkward, that Liam Neeson had since said, oh, but I'm not racist. And Trevor Noah was saying, well, no, like, what you were doing was inherently racist, that you were blaming an entire... You were blaming an entire ethnic group for the actions of one person, which is racist. And saying, oh, but I'm not racist, and it wasn't racist. You're like, no, it doesn't matter, but it's important that you acknowledge that, because we're all racist to an extent. Every single person, not just like white people, but everyone to a certain extent has, because we all have biases in us. It's like an evolutionary instinct. We all have prejudices. And so what he was saying was that it's good that this has come up, because it's important to publicize that you should acknowledge that, and that if you acknowledge, so these are my prejudices, then you can start working forward to, because a lot of the time it's not what you actually think, it's just an inherent, like, subconscious prejudice that you might have. And he said that it's
just like something that happened in your life, or
he said it was a shame that it came up in the context of this interview, because he said if it had been on a show like Oprah or something, then it would have been sort of handled better, because it would have been like, he would have had this reveal of, so I went out looking for some black bastard to kill, and then Oprah could have said, like, oh, so how do you feel about that? And you could, like, unpack it properly, but the problem was, what actually happened was he said this, and then the interview just kind of went on, and then it was released, and then there's all this backlash online of, like, oh, like, Liam Neeson is this, no, Liam Neeson is that, or, like, whatever, and then Liam Neeson is sort of hopping in being like, no, like, I'm not racist, like, blah, 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 and so it's all kind of, like, gone spiraling, as opposed to if it had happened in a conversational context more than interview context, where you could have properly you can be like, okay, so, well, what does that mean? Like, what can we take from this? Whereas in that context, it's just like,
what have you learned from this experience, and, like, how have you grown from that? Because it's also, it's big of some, like, I mean, it's not great that he was like, oh, I'm not racist. But it was good of him to, like, recognize that what he did was not okay.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Because I feel like a lot of times when stuff like this comes out, like especially, like, he brought it up, but especially when people don't bring it up, and then it gets brought up, and it, like, comes out, whether it be a photo, or an action, or whatever the hell some politician or some famous person wrote, or said, or did. And then, like, it's just, like, usually it's, like, radio silence for, like, the first bit, because they want to see if it'll, like, go away. And then the second bit is, like, the second section is, the apology, and then the third bit is, like, I'm not racist, you know, or I'm not this, I'm not homophobic, or I'm not this, you know, that, it was just a different time, you know, it was a different time, or, like, I grew up a certain way.
It's how I was taught. It was like, I grew up in this place where, like, it was you're like, those are all reasons.
Valid. Yeah,
but they don't.
It's totally reasonable to, like, have the viewpoints that you do or did because of where you grew up, but I don't think you should blame that as like I don't think it should be a blame game. You should just be like, all right, listen, like, this is who I am, or this is who I was, and I've grown from that, and we should look for a way for people to learn from this, and not repeat what I did. I don't know. I just think it's like so simple, but people are just so scared of saying the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm. And people also, it does become this sort of like blame game thing.
Yeah, the easiest thing is to just say, I fucked up, and learn from it.
Yeah.
And I hope people can learn from it. Because
there's people who, like, they aren't like that, but then, because it becomes this almost witch hunt type thing, and then they feel like they're being persecuted, and then suddenly they're like, well, maybe I am racist. And then they kind of get shaped into this thing by other people.
Yeah. It's just a shit show.
You want to hear a funny story?
Yes, but I'm gonna listen to it while I pull a Callum and eat some snacks during the podcast.
Very professional. You've clearly been listening to Callum's Podcast 101s, my other podcast. You can find that. That podcast is only available on SoundCloud. Callum's Podcasting 101s. So the other night, this is a hard
sour cream and onion.
Can I have one? Put one through the.
I'll put one to the screen.
Yeah. That was weird. So anyway, I was at a pub the other night, as I am wont to do, and this guy, there's live music, which I initially wasn't too excited about, but it actually turned out to be quite good. So this guy is playing music, and I got roasted by him. Because
you told me a little bit about this.
Yeah, he starts playing the music and it's good, and he's playing some songs and it's fine, it's whatever. And he plays, let's say he plays like 3 songs, and then he goes into the mic. He's like, "Thanks guys, thanks for all. Thanks guys, thanks a lot. That's really really good of you." So I'm actually taking requests as well. So if you guys have any requests for the night, then just shout them out, and I'll see if I can play them for you. Any requests, and I'll take them. Then he starts to
what did you shout out?
Yeah. And then I'm like, Caledonia!
Can you explain to our American viewers what...
Caledonia is a love song to Scotland.
Oh.
Caledonia is the Latin name for Scotland. It was the Caledonian forest, because it all used to just be a big forest. So Caledonia is what we call, it's like just a name that we have for ourselves. I think the actual like the Gaelic, not even, there's not really any such thing as a properly like Scottish person. Scotland is literally a country of immigrants. No one is from here originally. But anyway, so the like Gaelic word for it is Alba, but the Latin word is Caledonia, and those are both names that people use.
So can you sing us a little? Can you sing us a little something?
Oh, hold on. Well, let me get the lyrics up. It's a very emotional song.
Is it acoustic?
It sounds, usually acoustic. There's a very famous version by Phil Notini, who is a singer from Paisley, which is just outside of Glasgow, and he has this like sort of rags to riches story where his parents are, I think, first or second generation Italian immigrants to Scotland, and they only chippy. And he's now a really big artist. He's really good. He's has a very distinct sound. But anyway, so he has a really famous version of it. The original one is by Dougie MacLean, I think. And let me just get to the that's the chorus. "Oh, let me tell you that I love you,
right,
and I think about you." No. "Oh, let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me. Now I'm going home. And if I should become a stranger, no, it would make me more than sad. Caledonia, you're the best thing I've ever had." And it's all along those lines. It's about someone who loves Scotland, and they don't ever want to lose it. So anyway, but the thing is, Caledonia gets played mostly at the end of nights. It's kind of like the big sort of "and we're done" type thing.
The closer.
Kaylee's, you get Auld Lang Syne at the end of Kaylee's quite a lot, and you'll do "Everyone Will Stand in a Circle." And
wait, really? That's such a...
We need to go to an actual Kaylee. Yeah, we need to go to an actual Kaylee.
Okay, no, but like Auld Lang Syne is we play in the US. We only play that at Christmas time and New Year's.
Yeah, it's a New Year's song for everyone else, but it's It's by Robert Burns. It's just a song.
Well, I know, but like, I would never, I don't know, I would never, like, if someone was playing it right now, I'd be like, who the fuck is playing Christmas music?
Well, it just is sort of a song about, like, old friends and not losing touch and, all that. So it gets played at the end of Kaylee's.
Wait, Callum, our podcast is our Old Lang Syne.
Nope,
wow.
Nope. I'm about to do the thing I did last time where I'm like, yeah, sure. Yeah, our podcast is an Old Lang Syne. Why not? So, and people will, like, hold hands and they'll, on the second verse, everyone, like, runs into the circle and it's like a mosh pit and people get injured all the time. It's really fun. People, like, break their shoulders and stuff.
I love it when we get injured.
That's what a Kaylee is. People getting injured to music. So, and then also Caledonia is another thing that gets played quite often at the end of, like, prees or parties or whatever. So, anyway, so I shout Caledonia. He's like, so yeah, if you guys have any songs that you'd like me to play, I'll be here all night. But just any requests, I'm open to taking requests. Caledonia! What? Caledonia! Okay. And then he, like, looks over at me, and he's like, he was so handsome, and, like, kind of, he just had this, like, sparkle in his eye. He was owning it. The crowd were already, he was 3 songs in, the crowd were putty in his hands. And he looks over at me and just destroys me verbally in front of all these people. Caledonia! And he looks at me. It's a bit early for that, isn't it? And then just goes back to it. And the room everyone just stares at me. They're like, he's right, you know. You bastard. Who the fuck recommend? Who requests Caledonia on the 4th song of the night? It's 8:30. What are you doing? It's a bit early for that. It's a bit early for that, isn't it? And I'm like, you're right. It is a bit early for that. And I'm just destroyed. I retreat into myself. I just curl up into a ball. Just push my pint over. Just, no! I can never come back here. I cannot show my face in this town ever again. Why? I requested Caledonia, and they'd only done 3 songs. He said, like, it was barely, you could still buy alcohol from the shops. It wasn't even 10 o'clock yet. You could literally have gone out and just bought a bottle of vodka, chugged it, and come back, and you'd still have, like, 3 hours before you can do it. Why would I do that? So anyway, that was it. However, I did feel slightly better when he played Hey Ya. You know Hey Ya.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
You know how there's a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Songs that make white people scream. There's a bit in Hey Ya where he's like, "All right, now fellas, yeah, now tell me what's cooler than being cool." Ice cold. I can't hear you. I said, what's cooler than being cool? Ice cold. Alright. Okay, now let it goes on, thusly.
Oh, keep going. I love this.
And so he sang Hey Ya, and I was really interested to see what he was going to do at that bit, and you'll never guess what he did at that bit. Would you like me to tell you? What did he do at that bit? Would you like me to tell you what he did at that bit?
Yes.
He sung it. He sung the whole thing, line by line. He sung the entire thing.
Wait, even the response?
Yes, the whole thing. He sung the whole thing. He sung all of it. He's like, so it's like, alright now fellas, yeah. Now tell me what's cooler than being cool, ice cold. Alright, okay now ladies, yeah.
Oh, he was doing it like that?
I'm gonna break it down for just a few seconds. Or no, maybe not like that, but you know, you get the gist of it. Now don't have me break this thing down for nothing. I want y'all to be on your baddest behavior. Lend me some sugar, I am your maker. Here we go, shake it, shake it, oh, shake it. You know, so that was quite the experience, I have to say. Mm-hmm. At that point, I was like, okay, mate, well, I may have requested Caledonia at 8:30 after you'd played 3 songs, but at least I didn't sing the ad-libs from Hey Ya. So, at that point, I felt
I think it's so funny that, like, I guarantee when you, like, first said Caledonia, like, everyone perked up a bit, like, oh, this is gonna be great.
Everyone's like, oh, and Caledonia. That was the problem. I had it.
And then he like,
cause,
he just like destroyed you, and then everyone was like on his side. They were like, oh, "You fucking idiot!" Oh,
yeah, exactly.
What?
You can tell because in a room full of Scottish people, if you're like Caledonia, no one's gonna be like no. But then if someone then is like, it's a bit early, isn't it? Then everyone, because everyone does sort of perk up. If you've got any requests, just shout them out and I'll get them on for you. Caledonia! And everyone's like, ooh, Caledonia. And for a second, for a mere second...
You had the room. I
had the room. They were mine. And then he killed it for me. He killed it. It's a bit early
He just
for that,
stabbed you right in the heart.
He was so suave as well. He really owned it.
It wasn't even like a stab in the back. It was like straight, looked you in the face and was like, "Gah!"
And I couldn't say he was wrong because he was right. It was a bit early for that. Also, later on in the night, people were doing requests like while he was in the middle of a song, and it was like they were queuing up songs on Spotify, but to a bouncer. I'm like, no, it's not how it works in real life, mate. You can't just, in the middle of a song, be like, oh, you know what else is good? I'll just Google, Gold on the Ceiling, the Black Keys, add to queue, there we go. You can't do that in the middle of, hey, when the guy is actually right there. You can do it on your phone, on Spotify or whatever. You can't do that in real, he's in the middle of singing, he was doing, like, Riptide or some, just the classics. Like Candy by Pelantini, just all the songs that everyone who has a guitar can play. Anyway, here's Wonderwall type stuff. And people were just going up to, he had to like stop, and he was just playing his guitar whilst he listened to these people requesting songs from him. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's in the middle of a song. Why are you making a request when he's in the middle of a song? So anyway, that was my night. Molly Malone's.
Wow.
I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10. It used to be the Blue Stain. It was really nice when it was the Blue Stain. So it's kind
did it? Wait, so it changed? I didn't know that they
yeah, the Blue Stain's closed. It's now the Green Stain.
I know that's a lie. You just told me what the name was before.
No, it's a joke because
no,
it's Irish
you're bad
now.
at jokes though.
No,
but you're
Irish.
bad at jokes.
It's Irish now, so it's the Green Stain. Anyway, so
no, but you're bad at jokes.
But well,
It's so funny because I actually wrote notes for the show and I haven't talked about any of them because we've just been crushing it.
I have notes going back to the first week. I mean, when we were about to do our first ever episode, like not the lost episode.
Wait, you still have that doc?
Yeah.
Oh my god! I literally
got so many things on it. I've about hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've close to 10 like talking points that I came up with before our first like official episode, and just because I was like, oh, this will be useful or whatever. Never used any of them. Also, a lot like you. I mean, you had to deal with it last year. When I make notes, I make very cryptic notes, and so a lot of them, don't make sense. I can't even. Like, I've got Bag for Life condoms written here. Bag for Life condoms.
What does that even mean?
It was like, you know, Bag for Life. Like, you go to the shop. Oh, I don't think it's a thing in America. In Britain, because we're all about recycling and stuff, you get Bags for Life. And so it's a bag, you pay 5p for it or whatever.
Oh, like a recyclable bag.
And they give you, it's like an actual bag, and you take it back, and it means that you aren't using plastic bags every time. So it's a Bag for Life, and it's. So I was like, what if there was someone who was really committed to that, so they started using Bag for Life condoms. So just because they don't want the latex waste, so every time they had the Bag for Life, they'd like wash it out, and they had a Bag for Life condom. I've also got a Virgin G&T written here. Virgin.
Oh, I have
like
some stuff I want to share.
A Virgin G&T, please. Just tonic. You just want some tonic. Can I have a Virgin G&T? What? You mean
so just tonic?
Before you do your bit, that actually reminds me. The other night I was working, and so you know what a screwdriver is, right?
Callum is a bartender for those who don't know.
I work at the union. For those of you who don't know, I work at the union, the Students' Union in St Andrews. I'm a bartender. I also do cocktails. So you know what a screwdriver is, don't you? Like,
yeah,
it's just orange juice.
Orange juice and vodka.
And vodka. It's just vodka OJ. Very.
Yeah.
So So, because of that, only wankers call it screwdriver. Because they just want it to sound... Because...
My mother loves screwdrivers, so are you calling my mother a wanker?
I couldn't possibly comment. But...
It's just like silence, and then you just like slowly... It's like a press conference, and you're just like at the microphone, and someone asks, "Do you believe my mother is a wanker?" And then you just like, you sidle up to the microphone. No comment.
No.
At this time. Thank you very much.
At this time, I'm not available to make a comment on your
Okay,
status
I got
as a
some
wanker.
stuff I want to share.
But hold on. So no, because we talked about this before that we always never finish stories. So this is really
finish
quick.
your story.
So the other night at the bar, someone I didn't serve him, but I heard him. He'd ordered a screwdriver, and so the bartender was like, "Yeah, whatever." This is in main bar, by the way. This is in the main bar of the Students' Union, which is just. It's just a tacky, like, rotty place. It's not even the cocktail bit where you'd think, okay, fair enough, you want to not sound like an idiot, but you do. You sound even more like an idiot. So, and then he gives his friend a taste of it. They're like, "Oh, what's that?" And he's like, "It's a screwdriver." And they're like, "Oh." He goes, "Yeah, have a taste. And so they have a wee...
Wait,
sip
as if
from
he's
it.
like fucking inventing the cocktail wheel?
No, but the thing is, I would have even respected it more if he'd been like, "Yeah, it's an interesting blend of Bacardi and orange juice and a little bit of
Fresh
simple
squeezed.
syrup, and they actually a fresh squeeze slice of orange actually squeezed into it as well, just to top." But no, he just actually starts. So this guy's like, "What is that?" He's like, "It's a screwdriver." So it's quite good because you've got it tastes a little bit like orange juice, a little bit like vodka as well. Because then it's a screwdriver. You can taste the vodka, but you can taste the orange juice as well. And I'm like, yeah, because it's purely vodka and orange juice. When you have a screwdriver, you can taste a little bit of orange. You can taste orange juice, and also there's a little kick of vodka in it. Because it's vodka and orange juice. That's why that is.
I love that he like was acting as if he was like some sort of food critic, you know?
Yeah.
Just like, I really love the like punch of vodka, and you can still like taste the orange juice, and yeah, that's it. That's literally it. That's the two things.
You give it a little sip, and you hit immediately with the citrusy taste of the orange juice, and really, it's quite an explosion of acid in your mouth. And then almost because of the fireworks that are coming from the citrus, you don't even notice as already the vodka's slowly sliding down your throat. So you get the warmth of the vodka. So you taste the orange juice, then you taste the vodka, and that's it.
Yeah.
Because that's all that's in this drink.
There's just a single tear running down my face right now. That was so beautiful. That was... So, yeah. I'm moved, honestly.
So that was definitely one of the low points in my life, was listening to someone
listening to that conversation?
Listening to someone try to explain what, air quotes, screwdriver tastes like. Here's a newsflash. Okay. Spoiler, it tastes like vodka and orange juice, because that's all that's in it. Your story.
Alright. Well, this is not a story. I thought we would do a new segment. You know what really grinds my gears?
Oh, yes.
So that could have been the first story. You know what really grinds my gears? People who fucking try to explain what a screwdriver is in the most convoluted way.
Yeah.
You know what really... Callum, do you know what really grinds my gears?
Yes.
The goddamn...
Wait, no, I messed up. Alright, I had one job. I said yes. It's my bad. Okay, let's go from the top.
You know what? Do you know what really grinds my gears?
No.
Well, you know what? You know what grinds my gears? The bathroom stalls in some of the buildings here. Because if you were to William and Mary... No, okay, so it's the height specifically. So some of the stalls here, and some of the like... So there's new campus and there's old campus. And new campus is actually not that new. It's just like built in the 70s. And old campus is like the oldest buildings, but they're all renovated, so they're actually look the nicest. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So new campus is still... So all of the new campus buildings, quotations around it, basically anything that was built in like the shitty 70s, They have these
Shitty 70s.
stalls. They have these stalls where when you stand, you can still see over. So the height of it is like shoulder. Yeah, it's shoulder height. So like when you're sitting down,
people were smaller in the past.
In the 70s?
Yeah, in the past.
That was only 50 years ago.
People were smaller.
Not
back
even.
Then.
But yeah, so basically, when you walk in, you, like, make eye contact with people as you're both walking into the stall together. Super uncomfortable. And then, when you stand up and you do your whole, like, pulling up my pants thing? Well, I don't want anyone to look at my face while I'm pulling up my pants. It's just, like, such a weird... You, like, look... You get up to pull up your pants and you, like, look over and some chick's washing her hands and I'm just like, why do I see you? There should be an extra, like... 10 inches of goddamn stall.
They saw my trouser pull face. God damn it.
Yeah, my trouser.
That's a deeply personal thing. Not my trouser pull face. Oh.
But you know what else grinds my gears, Callum?
What else
do you know what else? You know what else grinds my gears? You know what I noticed?
I'm sure you're gonna tell me. What?
So, how do you carry your backpack, like, on your back? Do you do one strap or two straps?
I'm a two-strapper.
You're a two-strapper? You fucking nerd. Oh my god. I would have bullied you in high school.
Nah, two-strapping is cool now.
Okay, I don't understand. Okay, so I don't know if you've ever noticed at St. Andrews, but I always carry my backpack one strapped.
Never noticed.
Like, it's just...
I'll be honest. I'll be entirely honest with you right now. I've never noticed that.
Wow, you don't pay attention.
No, wow. I definitely don't. Clearly.
You're no longer my Valentine.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. You're like, wow, okay, cool. Whatever.
That's fine. Okay.
That's fine. No, but so basically, in my high school, it was just, like, common that everyone would carry their backpack on one shoulder. Like, it was just, like, the thing, you know? Gotta be hip, gotta be cool, gotta carry one shoulder. But everyone here at William & Mary carries it two-strapped.
Well, it's William & Mary.
Yeah, so I was like, I turned to my friend and I was like, oh, what a bunch of fucking nerds. And she was like, what? And I was like, yeah, I just realized everyone carries their backpack two-strapped. And she was like, wait, what? You don't carry your backpack two-strapped? And I was like, well, you're a statistic.
That's dangerous. You're a health and safety hazard. That's what you are.
I'm a health and safety hazard because I only one-strap it?
Yeah,
I just think it's so...
I know you're trying to act cool, Katia, but you know what? You know what isn't? In fact, you know what is cool? Staying safe. Staying safe. You know what is cool?
Being actually cool.
Damn.
Not wearing your two-strap backpack. I will say the only time I wear two-strapped is if my backpack is ridiculously heavy. And even then, sometimes I don't do it.
You're so cool.
Because it's just like...
You're so cool.
I am. Yeah, I'm a one-strap girl.
I could never. I can't even begin to think about that.
Okay, but you don't even actually wear a backpack. You wear, like, a goddamn satchel, like, over your shoulder. Satchel.
It's classy.
Yeah, so you, technically you do one-strap it.
Well, I like to think of it more as what percentage of strap do you use? So, I use 100% strap, and you use 50% strap. You're a 50%er. But I'm 100%. I'm all in. I'm all in, baby. I'm all in. 100% strap. You're 50%. You're kind of... Because it says a lot about a person if they're only 50% committed to the strap. You know?
That's
I'm 100% committed to the strap. At all times. One strap, two strap, three strap, four strap. 100%. Always. All in.
Wow.
All in on the strap.
Wow. Alright, I have one...
That's my final message.
Your final message is you're 100% kind of guy? You're all in?
I'm all in.
Alright, I have one last, you know what grinds my gears. You know what grinds my gears, Callum?
No.
When I see TikTok compilations on YouTube saying TikTok has reached Vine immortality. And Yes. They come up on my suggested. I don't know why. Probably because I watched, like, one Cody Co video that had, like, TikTok in the name. So now, like, all TikTok things come up. And so I watched it. I was like, you know what? I give it a lot of shit. Let's see. I don't actually have a TikTok account.
Maybe it's good.
Maybe it's worth my time. Maybe they did compile the best of the best, and it has reached Vine immortality. I watched it. Oh my god, did not laugh once. There was, the only ones that were, like, semi-funny were the ones that were making fun of TikTok itself. Like, the only TikToks that were, like, I thought were genuinely impressive or funny was if they were, like, doing the skit about, like, how shitty TikTok is.
Yeah, okay.
And they had, like, they had 3 or 4 of those, because I think some TikTokers are, they are relatively aware of how dumb the app is in general. You know? Like, some people just do it for fun, but so many TikTokers take themselves so seriously, and I'm just like, do you understand what you're doing? You suck. You just suck.
There has to be a degree of self-awareness, I feel like. You have to be vaguely self-aware of what you're doing.
Okay, do you know the song, Mia Khalifa? The Hit or Miss song? Hit or miss, I guess you didn't miss, huh? You're not a boyfriend. That got super popular because of TikTok, but then it became a TikTok challenge. They were like, there's like a bunch of videos that I've seen where it's like, yo, I'm a TikToker, I'm in Walmart right now, let's see if there's any TikTokers in Walmart, or whatever, like these popular TikTokers, whatever, they're called. They would like go into like a store or a public place, and they would be like, this is the hit or miss challenge, guys. And then they would, like, look up and they would shout into, like, the aisles, hit or miss! And then, like, they would hope that someone would respond with, I guess you didn't miss, huh?
It's like a Marco Polo thing. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, like a Marco Polo.
Yeah, that's terrible. That's not funny at all.
Yeah. And that was, like, a thing for a while. Like, people would just go into public.
That's what the worst of Vine was, though. Was stuff like that.
I know, but
that's what the worst of YouTube is.
But the thing is, like, Vine and YouTube at least have that niche area of, like, quality content. I have yet to see TikToks, like, in a mass sense that are genuinely interesting. You know? Like, every now and again, I'm like, oh, that TikTok's kind of funny. Or, like, oh, that's sort of cool that they did that trick. There's not a compilation I've watched. I've watched a couple because I, like, kept trying to give it a chance. But none...
It's because it doesn't breed, like, original creativity. Because the whole point of it is that you play a sound clip and you, like, mouth over it. So other than doing something cool with the editing or stuff like that, you can't... There's very little to work with in terms... Because stuff like YouTube or Vine is a complete blank canvas. You can do literally anything. But with TikTok, you always have to have that basis of the soundbite. So you're always going to be tied to that. So, but that's just my opinion.
Well, that's also, like, because a lot of the trash that came from Musical.ly came to TikTok and polluted.
Yeah, well, it's the same app, essentially. I mean, I've never had either of those apps, but from what I can tell, it's the same thing. It also doesn't help that the people who run it are terrible people, but that's a completely different conversation.
Yeah. But that was my grind. That was what grinded my gears this week.
Well,
so that was a segment. That was a segment that we did. Yes.
Boys and girls.
Grinding my gears.
People in Thailand. We've talked about. We found out what grinds the gears. We've talked about discrimination and the future.
Race relations.
We talked about Thank you for listening to the debrief.
You can't even remember what we talked about at the beginning. Do you remember what the first 10 minutes were? I kind of blacked out.
I've not been paying attention this entire time. It's funny for me.
Well, neither have I, and neither is anyone who's actually listening.
So true. Sometimes I listen back to it, and I remember the bits where you were talking, I wasn't paying attention, and I can hear it because you'll be talking, it'll be the first time that I've heard you say the thing, but I'm replying to when I hear it when I listen to the podcast, when I listen back to it when you send the edit. And I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. And then I'm also like replying to it in the podcast. I'm like, well, this is the first time I've heard this, so I have no idea. But I'll always be like, yeah, okay. But anyway, cool. So that was it.
That was a podcast.
That was the consider yourself debriefed. Wait, that's what we should do. That's how we should end it. We should always end by being like, Consider yourself, and that was the debrief. You consider yourself you've been debriefed. That's how we'll always end it, just like that, exactly like that. Is you?
Or is it like you got served? Is it like you just been debriefed? Or is it just
no?
like
Because it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Oh, okay.
To be debriefed.
Oh,
You've.
are you sure it's a good thing?
Boys and girls, you've been debriefed. But well, welcome to the debrief with me, Cal Messler, and
hi, my name's Katya Alcott.
Just,
and this
psych,
is Callum Messler.
Psych, where? Oh wait, no wait. If we end by going hello and welcome to the debrief, then you can just put this on a loop, and this will be the infinity episode. It'll be like the infinite debrief, and we'll create a wormhole. We'll create a wormhole that will suck in all the other podcasts, and then we'll be the only podcast. If we end how we traditionally start, because we didn't do the start today, so if we end by going.
Yeah, we just started going into
welcome to the debrief. Then that means that whoever's listening can put it on a constant loop.
Oh, absolutely.
I think we should do that.
Absolutely.
I think we should do the intro and then just cut it. And
but you do realize if I include all of this conversation, people are going to understand what we're doing when we end.
Yeah, it's fine. No, they're not paying attention though.
Okay. Hi, my name is Katya Alcott.
And my name is Callum Essler.
And welcome to the debrief.